Are you aware of all the different types of candles and how to use them? This is something simple, but stuff that maybe not known by everybody. Just starting here with a 5-minute regular candle. This is not trade subs or anything. It's actually just how to get different calculations to how and when candles are formed, because there's different strengths and weaknesses for all of them. So this is a 5-minute time-based candle. This is classic. This is, you pull up any chart on any platform, this is what you're getting. One quick change to this, just to keep, it'll be a 5-minute time-based candle. But if you go right here into chart style, equivolume, I think these are super cool. Boom, you see that? So these candles will actually give you a little more info because the width of them are based on the volume. So this red candle right here had more volume, same amount of time. These are all 5-minute candles, but it had more volume than the rest of them. This little chunk, you can see that's the end of day. So as expected, there's a lot of closing trades. A lot of people, I guess bigger institutions move at end of day often. And also the beginning of the day was, it's definitely thicker than through in here. This at 11 o'clock, there was some sort of news that came out. Doesn't matter what the news was, but that's why that candle's looking so big overnight. Obviously, it's a futures market, so it's traded overnight, but these are thin. It's, not a lot of volume gets traded throughout the night. In the Asian session or the European Open, all of it, here's the European Open, so you can see it gets a little bit thicker. So I think equivolume is super cool. I always have one of these up. You could have the volume at the bottom, but just combine it into one. It's super simple. I actually think it's a fun exercise while trading. I squint my eyes and look at this chart, and you can start and see some bigger candles. Depending on the day, you can kind of get the feel for the market that way. So moving along, the range candles. These are range candles. These are price-based candles as opposed to time-based candles. And what I mean by price-based, so I have it on a 10 range, and there's 4 ticks, or we'll say 4 ranges within 1 point, because there's 4 ticks per point. So you divide 10 by 4, and each of these are 2.5 points. So to 4775, the bottom of it should be at 2.5. Yep, exactly. So it doesn't matter what time is doing. As you can see from this candle, look at the bottom, it's 12:36:16 to 12:38:30. And then 12:42. So in between these, it was 2 minutes. In between these, it was 4 minutes. So it only moves when price moves, which I think is great. It kind of keeps you, it can help in chop because you're not sitting there watching something just always print. Like some chop zones could be, one candle could hold for 15 minutes. And if you're trading a 1-minute chart, as it'd be bouncing around within that, what's just one candle here, you can often overtrade. So I think if you get a good signal with these, I also like to use these when you get these big wicks, like that candle on like bottomy formations here. If it's at a good location, here's one. And your location could be based off a lot of different things, from VWAPs to, I like using the initial balance. You could do liquidity zones, but if you get one of these candles in a somewhere that you're wanting to take a trade, you can enter just on that, and that be your indicator. So That is range candles, price based, not time based. I think these are awesome. And another thing, these candles can actually overlap. So they're, as you can see, if it goes from top here and then it goes back down, they can overlap. So it's one interesting thing. It's not a bad thing, but there are other candles that will not print overlaps. But I really think these are wonderful. So moving along, tick candles. We're on an ES contract, so let's go to 1320. So now we have a 1320 tick. It's just kind of a random number. I like using it on ES. Just it moves pretty quick, but not too quick. But tick is the number of bids and asks that are getting filled. So once there's this number of ticks filled, it will print a candle. So you can make it a lot bigger, you can make it a lot smaller. As you can, so some things to note during the beginning and end of day. So, you know, here 450, not 450, this would be 1450, which is like the last 10 minutes of the US Open or US market. You can see this one's at 1450.23, 41. So that's 20 seconds into that candle. That's another 20 seconds. That one, 15 seconds. So when a lot of volume comes in, these things start moving really fast. Yeah, all right here, just in this candle, you're not seeing a bunch of action you could do with this 5-minute time-based candle. But within here, you know, for scalping and stuff, I think using these tick charts are awesome. I think it's a lot easier to use than time-based charts. It's just quicker and it moves when things matter. And by things matter, it's when there's volume. If there's not a lot of volume, you know, we looked at the last 10 minutes and there was, you know, every 20 seconds you're getting a candle. But if we go to earlier in the day, kind of later morning around 10:30, you know, that 10:24:14 is the time. 10:25:17. So that's over a minute. So those candles at the end of the day, we're printing 3 times as fast. So this kind of gives you, the chart moves relative to how fast orders are happening. So I think this is a really cool way. You know, honestly, I like tick charts and I like range charts more than minute charts. I do keep larger time frame minute chart and equivolume. I usually have like a 15 or 30 minute equivolume candles just for larger context. I know plenty of people are looking at that. So, you know, if you start seeing some sort of candle formation you like with long wicks and stuff, it may not show within this style. So it's nice to see the context over here and then execute smaller time frames here on the tick chart. Volume chart, very similar to tick chart, slight different in calculation, but it is pretty much going to trade the exact same. So yeah, I hope you learned something with this. There's not only time-based candles, and I actually think on smaller time frames, it's more beneficial to actually use ticks and to use range candles. Price-based and volume tick-based instead of time-based. Yeah, so I hope you learned something and have fun trading with these.